Hi, so here's step one of your 1-point perspective project. You're going to need a piece of paper put into the portrait orientation. You'll need a ruler and a sharp pencil. We'll start by drawing the horizon line somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle, but somewhere in the middle of the paper you'll draw a straight line across your paper. This is the horizon line. This will tell you where the sky is versus the ground. Now that you have your horizon line, you're going to add the vanishing point, again, somewhere in the middle. You can measure it if you want, or you can just guesstimate where the middle is and put a vanishing point there. I'm making my vanishing point pretty big so that you can see it. When you do it yourself, you don't have to have it that big because eventually you'll want to erase it. So the first step will be to draw the road. Now, when you are drawing something that's disappearing into the distance, the front of your paper down here is where the objects are the largest, and then the vanishing point is where they will vanish. So to draw a road, you put your pencil on the vanishing point, use your ruler, angle it out, so almost like you're making a big letter A, and you'll draw one side of the road all the way down to the bottom of the paper. Swing your ruler around, and you'll draw the second part of your road. So now you've got kind of, like I said, like it looks like an A without the crossbar, but if you use your imagination, you can see that this is a road and you're standing in the middle of it and looking down towards the vanishing point or looking away, the road actually disappears. Now to make it look more like a road, we're going to add the dashed lines that go down the middle. So you will line your ruler up the vanishing point straight up and down to the bottom of the paper. And when things go to the vanishing point, they get smaller and closer together. So the dashed lines down here near the front of the paper will be longer and further apart. As you move towards the vanishing point, make your lines shorter and closer together. And that will give the illusion that they are disappearing into the distance. So that's step one, the road. So you've drawn your horizon line, your vanishing point, and then the sides of your road and the dashed lines. The next step will be to draw a house in 1-point perspective using this same vanishing point. You will draw your house on either the left or the right-hand side of the road underneath the horizon line, so down underneath it. You don't want any part of the house to be above it. You want every part of the house to be beneath the horizon line. And you'll start by just drawing a very simple home like you did when you were little. It's just going to be a rectangular base. Use your ruler to make it neat. You'll draw a rectangular or a square base to your home and a triangle roof. You don't want it to be right up on the road. You want it to be a little bit out in the grassy area that's next to the road. So there's your house, very simple. And now we're going to draw this house in perspective by taking it to the vanishing point. The lines that you use to draw from the house to the vanishing point are called orthogonal lines. Orthogonal lines are lines that are drawn in perspective to the vanishing point. Most often you will erase these lines after you finish drawing your object. So to draw the house, we're going to go from the bottom left, line the ruler up to the vanishing point, and lightly draw a line from the bottom left of the house to the vanishing point. Next you'll go to the top wall, line your ruler up, hold it steady, and draw your line from the top of the house to the vanishing point. And then we only have one more to do, that's the roof. You'll go to the very top of the roof, or the apex, and draw a line from the top of the roof to the vanishing point. So now you can see your house is going back into the distance. It's very, very long, and so at this point we're going to need to cut the house or shorten it. And this can be a little tricky for some people, so there are two lines that need to be drawn, one that cuts the side of the house and one that cuts the roof of the house. These lines are not the same angle. Your line that cuts the side of the house will be parallel to the side of the front wall, and the line that cuts the roof will be parallel to the roof line. So they'll be at different angles. One will be vertical and one will be at an angle. So line your ruler up with the side of your house, then slide it back however long you want your house to be and draw a parallel line between the top of the wall and the bottom. Next, you'll line your ruler up to the roof line so it's at the same angle. Slide it back until it meets the wall line that you drew earlier, and you'll draw an angled line to show where the roof stops. So now you can see you've got your house in perspective, and then you would go and erase the orthogonal lines here that go back to the road so that you don't see them anymore, which is why I suggest drawing them lightly so that you can easily erase them. and you'll have a house in perspective. Now, if you were to draw your house on this side of the paper over here, you do it the same way, but your orthogonal lines would go to the right. Here, they're going to the left to the vanishing point, but if your house was over here, they would go to the right. They don't all go in the same direction, so you don't create a new vanishing point over here. You always use the same vanishing point that's right here. In the next video, we will talk about how to do the telephone poles, but for now, go through this video again and practice these two elements, the road and the house.